Hello y'all on YouTube, this is Rob from Rob's Nerdy Knives. Today I'd like to talk to you a little bit about flippers and flipper tabs. Kind of my Rob's rambling and some of my thoughts on this over the years and my experiences, and to kind of get your thoughts on them, what you all think as well. First of all, I collect knives because I collect knives that I use, that I want to use, I want to carry, and I never like to collect anything that is just to be in my collection, not to be used. If I do, I tend to get rid of it or sell it. I don't like to have so expensive knives, I would never carry them, or have knives that are just not useful. So just about every knife I have in my collection is that. There's one exception. It's my dad's knife he bought before World War II in the 30s, almost 100 years old. That is a queen safe, or safe queen, whatever you want to call them. I'm going to definitely keep that one and probably never use it because my sons already are asking to inherit it, or would like to be the ones who inherit it. Anyways, this right here is the Kaviso Laconico collaborative done, and it's called a keen. And it used to be done by Drop, and it's a flipper, and it has kind of a unique flipper to me. If you look at that design of the flipper, it's very symmetrical both ways, and traditional with Ray Laconico's simplistic, I don't want to say simplistic, but minimalistic kind of design. It seems simple, but everything fits and works and flows together so well in his designs, which I really enjoy. And I've carried this quite a bit, and you can kind of probably see that from the little scuff marks and stuff and everything, but I feel like that's what a knife should be. But this flipper doesn't have any jimping like traditional flippers do, and it would fall into definitely the definition of what I believe Nick Shabazz would call a pocket pecker, because that certainly would definitely, but it's very chamfered, very smooth, so it's not anything that's going to hurt or dig into you on all sides. But this works really, really well, and it works well as what they call a light switch, which is you come across like this, and it flicks open very well like that. So this is the light switch flick, if you will, and then they have what's called a push button, where you push down. Now it's still going to move you forward like a light switch, but it's primarily the force is down with an angle, and that works really well too because it's very smooth. So I like that a lot, but it's very unique. You really have to make sure your tolerances and your engineering works perfectly, which Ray Laconico seems to do a great job on. So I really like that a lot. That's really cool. Another Ray Laconico design that I like a lot, and this is his Gemini, okay, and this is the Knife Works Buttonlock exclusive in the black linen micarta, and it's the CPM, where is it, CPM 4V steel. I don't know if you can see that right there, but this is a Ray Laconico design, and if you know with all Ray Laconico designs, you're going to see his name right there. But this is primarily a flipper as well, and this one's a little different. And this is one that I kind of feel like it works, but it's not as nice as this design. I wish it had more of that, because when I do use this one, there's no jimping on this one, and this design doesn't work and works as smoothly as the other one. It doesn't have that curve to pull your finger in. It's a very flat design. If you notice here, there's sort of a kind of a concave, I don't know if you can, let me get a little close, concave design there on the flipper, right? This one is very flat on the flipper. So I found that it works, definitely works, right? And you can do the push button, works, but I will tell you that if my hands are sweaty or slippery, I have slipped off of that. And then because it slides, sometimes it makes my finger go up here before I put the force, and then the main force, instead of being distributed over the finger, over that entire surface right there, right? It's all focused in on that very tip. And sometimes when you're pushing down hard and you're going quick, all of a sudden the tip is digging in right at that very tip of your finger into the meat of the finger, and man, it can be a little uncomfortable. So, it works well. I just have to realize that there's no jimping on this one, and I'm always going to come like that on it, right? As opposed to trying to do the light switch where I might slip and dig in. That one's okay. I like it. It works well. But some other designs that I think are very interesting is this one right here. This is the Vosteed Thunderbird, and of course multiple deployments. You got the fuller hole, the fuller line. You've got the front flipper with a bunch of jimping as well. You can see all that. And then you've got the what we call a flipper here, but it's kind of part of the whole knife design at the top. And it's definitely, it's not a push button, but it's definitely a pull down, if you will, right? So it's a light switch. You got to come down on it. works really well. And if you notice the design, it's kind of a little bit of an angle, and the jimping that's on top really helps to make sure your finger doesn't fully slip off. You can definitely get some traction on there if you need to. You're not going to fall off. I like that. That works well. But this is a knife made for multiple deployments. This is one of the options. It's not the main option. So it works. It's not my favorite, but it works in line with everything else. So to me, it's nice to have an option like that. Another one that I really enjoy, it's a recent one that came out, is the Penguin Plus. And that is a very triangle shaped one, and I thought at first, ooh, am I gonna like that? It's got jimping on this side, why, and it's jimping here. I don't know. So when I got it, it works really well. It does. It is definitely a light switch, right? I have found that you can probably push button it, but that push button is not very comfortable because it's a very sharp edge there, very sharp design there. So that is not my favorite to push button, because after a while it's going to dig in. Going to have the same issue that I will have over here, where this digs in. If your finger slips up and all of a sudden you're digging in at the very tip like that, not comfortable. Well, that would happen after a while with this one. But as long as I light switch, man, this is fantastic. It really works well. The jimping is perfect, really nice. So as long as you know what the flipper is intended to be and how it works, it really is fantastic. I like that one a lot. So another one that I have that I've really enjoyed is, this is my Bade Modern Designs Stunner. Now, you can't get this one anymore. It was designed, I'm not sure if the guy is out of Ukraine or somewhere. He's overseas, but I haven't seen any updates on his website. No re-release of this design, which is a real bummer because it's such a popular knife, and people have offered to buy it from me, and I won't sell it because I love this knife. It is one of my smoothest knives. Hollow grind, beautiful, just action is ridiculous. The thumb studs work beautifully, and the flipper works gorgeous. It's just fantastic. Now it's a little bit like the triangle, but it's not all the way out to the point, right? And so it's rounded. It's rounded enough that I can light switch this. I can push button it very nicely, and I can light switch it very easy. And the detent is perfect. It just works wonderfully. And the detent is perfect too for reverse flicking as well. But really nice. So to me, with the design like that, the jimping and the curve really works well for what it's intended to be. I like that a lot. Another one that I have enjoyed a lot is, let's say, right here, my Arno Bernard iMamba. Now, this is a little more rounded. It's not as traditional. It's flat right here, as you can see, but it's rounded. And that works really well because, right, I can come across here. The jimping on here is going to stop me here, and I'm going to be able to light switch that one very easily, right? But because it's rounded like that, I can get on top of this and push button it really nicely. That makes the push button work really well. One of the most comfortable push button ones that I have is this one right here. I just love that push button a lot. I think the Stunner is pretty close. It's jimped enough that I can do that as well. I never have issues with this one, but I have to say that the iMamba is just, that curve right there, that angle, makes it just that much more perfect. Now, this is a semi-custom knife, so obviously you expect that. But man, that's just smooth. I love that. Whereas like with this one right here from the Laconico, the Keen, not the most comfortable to do that with, and especially because you slide across, you get into that edge thing, but that curvature is really great for the light switch. But again, that edge kind of digs in. So another one here is my Saakshi. I love this knife. Now it's a really itty bitty little one, and you think, oh man, that seems awfully small. Is that going to be enough to deploy? It's got a fuller, so alternate deployment methods, but yeah, it's got the jimping all the way across. I like that. It's just round enough that I can push button it, and then I can light switch it really well. And the detent is perfect for this. I can all day long. I love this knife. It's a lot of fun. It's one of my favorite fidget knives. I love carrying this one a lot because I fidget this one like crazy. But yeah, that works really well. Again, to me it seems like as long as you've got that curve going around here, if you're going to angle up at all, you've got to make sure you've got some jimping in there, or you've got some geometry to go in your favor. The geometry on here is fantastic. The geometry on here is fantastic with the jimping. Now, I had a Urban EDC exclusive. I forget what it was. It had their beautiful design on there, but it was a big old knife, and I've got to remember it back. Anyways, that knife had a weird flipper. It was such a wonderful knife, but the flipper tab was so uncomfortable. I ended up getting rid of it. I mean, I love the knife in every other way but the flipper. If I could have paid someone to modify that flipper and fixed it, I would have. And then that knife would have been absolutely beautiful. But that flipper was just, it was a weird curve forward. It never allowed you to really get in there comfortably. It had a sharp edge that always dug into your hand, and it always hurt after a while. Just hurt your finger to use. And that was such a disappointment in a knife. So that's another one. And then finally, this one right here. I love this one right here, the Liong Mah GSD 2, get stuff done or get shit done. Look at that. The angle, Leon's design is fantastic. Perfect. Beautiful for flipping. Highly recommend. Well, anyways, those are my thoughts, my ramblings. What are yours? Feel free to leave some comments down below. Give me your thoughts, your insights. I'd love to learn more from you. And if you found this video interesting and entertaining, please hit the subscribe button and hit the like button. I sure would appreciate it. Thanks so much for watching. And hey, check me out on Instagram at robs_nerdy_knives. Again, thanks for watching. Have a great day and a great week. Bye.